These are what's in the historical sources. These are the things that Christians are trying to blot out, and the things that heathens are trying, some heathens, like an 8-pronged wheel that Asatru has, 8 solar points. Nothing like
Oh yeah.
that is even mentioned in the historical sources.
Yeah.
We have 3 Blóts mentioned. That's what we have. And I'm not here to say Christianity stinks. I'm here to say it's a very important question to ask, that certain practices like Christmas trees and Easter eggs, people are saying these have Germanic heathen roots, but no one's saying, oh, Blót, yeah, the church got rid of it, but that is the most discussed ritual in the Lord. No one's, It's very clear if you just read, and I understand that they're written down by Christians, but why would Christians talk about Blót? That is very heathen. There's nothing in Christianity like it. They believe that there is no, Jesus's blood is it.
Yeah, right. No, I was going to say, like, the only comparison that I could put to Blót would be the Judaic sacrifices, because like the Levitical law and everything that we know of, that the way that the Israelites sacrificed to their deity, to Yahweh, to Jehovah, whatever, it was animal sacrifice. It's very specific. Levitical law lays out, how much of this and what animals are to be used for this or that, for this transgression, for that crime, for this thing, that, or the other. Right? It's all laid out, and it was the blood of the animal. It was the blood of the animal, the burnt sacrifice, right? It talks about the aroma, the smoke rising up to the heavens and being pleasant to the Lord's nostrils, or something like that. Like, all these things are being talked about, and this was the religion, right? The ways, the ethno religious customs that are, the Christians, Jesus came from. He was born through the line of David, right? The line of the tribe of Judah, all these things. So if you want to like draw comparisons to anything, you could say that heathen Blót, with what blood is included in the animal sacrifices, is more akin to the Judaic practice of animal sacrifice.
Well, let me kind of jump in there. Biblical sacrifice is all in the book of Leviticus, the 3rd book in the Bible. And you hit on some very important points, because there's many different sacrifices. And I can give all the Hebrew names, so that's a waste of time. Let's get to the point.
Right.
Sacrifice in the Hebrew Bible is about sin. Blót to heathens is not about sin.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
And take Heimskringla, the Ynglinga saga, chapter 8. Yule being a Blót for good crops.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The types of Blót that we see, they're making blood offerings, and they're only offering the blood. I believe they're eating the food. I don't believe heathens were as wasteful as the Christians claim.
Yeah.
And my point is that the blood was shared with the gods because they expected good crops to come if they did that. They expected our word for worth, I say worth intentionally, worth-ship. It's, I'm going to give you a gift and I'm hoping to get something in return. Whereas the Bible is you're sinful. Christianity is about making you feel guilty. Whereas heathenry is the very opposite. It's about doing great deeds to make yourself better, not putting yourself down, being humble before the almighty, righteous, perfect God. It's about making ourselves better and better and better so our names live on. It's such an opposite thought.
Yeah.
So biblical sacrifice is quite different.
You're right.
And
that's a good point. Thanks for bringing it up.
What we see is that the church has redefined sacrifice. So I'm glad that you said what you said, because you have to change your whole worldview or decolonize, because Christians' thought is so different. And we grew up in the Christian West. Yeah. 1,300 years is a lot of history to erase. Even 250 years is so much. To have that mindset that a human sacrifice can give us salvation, that's been the mindset until recent, when now most of the West is becoming secular, realizing this isn't really the best train of thought. You know, I don't go to a shaman anymore. If I have a cut on my leg, I go to a doctor. And I'm not meaning to knock former pagan practices of any religion, because shaman is not really a Germanic heathen word, by the way. But, you know, my point is we go to a doctor now. When I call my family in Germany, I don't marvel that it's amazing that they pick up the phone and they're on another side of the planet and we're both talking live. You know, it's called normal. Like, we accept technology.
Well, even this right here, right now, right? What we're doing.
So we do live in a world that is very, very, it's becoming secular, but it still has very Christian thought. And that's why I think so many people, they really would prefer things like Easter eggs and Christmas trees to be historically Germanic heathen back 1700 years even, because look, I'm not attacking these practices. I think they're folk traditions that Christians invented, but because the Christians can invent folk traditions too. They don't only steal traditions, they invent traditions just like any culture does.